How's it going, and welcome back to Hyrule Highlights, the mini-series where I point out a little cool detail, bug, glitch, storyline, or whatever else I fancy from a Zelda game and show it to you guys. Last episode I showed you how a developer oversight led to Twilight Princess's most useless item being left in the game. Check that video out if you haven't already. You might already know about the things I'll go over in Hyrule Highlights. It's just a series about pointing out things I personally think are cool in Zelda games and that maybe don't get enough attention. So, unnecessarily long explanation over, today on Hyrule Highlights I'm delving into the Wild, looking at two weapons in particular from 2017's Breath of the Wild. The game has a crazy amount of items, from the brittle and weak sticks and rusty broadswords you'll find on the Great Plateau, all the way up to max level ancient laser battle axes, savage Lionel weaponry, and of course, the Master Sword. The Blade of Evil's Bane has been in every single 3D Zelda game except Majora's Mask, so it's safe to say that in the lore of the games, where Link has become a figure of legend, his gear has become sort of an icon, a symbol of hope for the people of Hyrule. We saw this in Wind Waker, where little boys would dress in green when they came of age to celebrate the legendary figure that the Hero of Time had become. While it's not quite as clear in Breath of the Wild, there are some really neat details in some of the items you can find that prove that whatever Link, or multiple Links, wielded the sword that seals the darkness before the Hero of the Wild became just as legendary a figure in Breath of the Wild's timeline as the Hero of Time did in Wind Waker's. And I think my favourites of these little details come in the equipment you can find in Hyrule. In the late game, especially in Hyrule Castle, you can acquire Royal or Royal Guard equipment. The former is all around amazing, great durability, great damage. And the latter hits like a truck full of lead, but it's as fragile as your self-confidence. Out of these two sets of equipment, which share similar designs, we can see that both the broadswords are clearly based design-wise on the legendary Master Sword, obviously with the differences being an inverted guard and the colour differences. In the descriptions, we learn that the Royal Broadsword was given to those who'd proven their worth as a great knight, and the Royal Guard sword was a Sheikah-made replica of the Master Sword wielded by the guards who defended the royal family. A Royal Guard sword can even be found in a pedestal in Hyrule Castle, similar to how the Master Sword is traditionally found. I think that this is a really cool detail which goes to show just how important of a figure the hero is in Hyrule's culture. In order to reward brave knights, the Hyrulean royal family would give swords similar to that which the hero himself used, and they would defend themselves with guards wielding Sheikah-made replicas of the Sword of Evil's Bane. Brave knights sought to be worthy of the honour of wielding their very own copy of the Master Sword, so they could fight like the brave heroes of legend. It's quite sad to think that in the end, as the Guardians themselves turned on Hyrule, there will have been countless brave knights looking down at their own royally awarded broadswords and praying they'd have the courage of the hero that wielded a similar sword, only to have their prayers crushed under tons of cold, relentless Guardian steel or Moblin clubs. Thanks for watching this episode of Hyrule Highlights, on Link's legacy and one of my personal favourite details in Breath of the Wild. As I said, you may have already known this, but the series is me pointing out details I personally find interesting. If you've got any suggestions, leave them in the comments below, or at me on Twitter, Zeltik. If I think they're cool, I'll feature them in a future episode. Cheers guys, and I'll see you next time.